Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a quick arm day. So we're going to be doing a superset of standing tricep pushdowns with standing bicep curls. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm using the functional trainer with the Prime Fitness Rotate handles. Now the only thing that sucks about these handles is you have to make sure that you're using the left for the left and you just have to make sure you're using the right for the right. So that's where the functional trainer comes in handy. You can just set this thing up and you can just jump around. So we're just going for 12 reps, and I'm using 60 pounds here on the stack, and that's going to translate into a 2-to-1 ratio of 30 pounds. So just 12 reps, and then we're going to be moving on to our next exercise. Again, it's going to be the standing bicep curls. And I'm using 30 pounds here, and this feels really good. I had a crazy night. My basement gym's bathroom decided to flood last night, and it was just hysterical all around the house. So long story short, we ended up having a pipe from a do-it-yourself previous owner's job, and it broke, and the water just came pouring out of the ceiling. And it basically sounded like a waterfall upstairs, and we were investigating, and we found out that, all the water was just coming out of the ceiling downstairs. So we had quite a bit of water, probably about 4 or 5 minutes of water that came pouring out of our ceiling. Finally realized what the hell it was, went over, turned off the water main, and we ended up having to clean up our gym, our storage room, and our bathroom. And unfortunately, when it comes down to it, it happened outside of normal business hours, so we ended up having to get an emergency plumber to come out and fix it. The guy was real nice. He basically told us we can cap off the area that was affected, and then we can go ahead and get everything fixed during normal business hours. So it saved us a little bit of money that way, but it still sucked. Fortunate that it happened when we were home because we're getting ready to go on vacation and we would have been gone for a week, and it would have been a nightmare if I would have come home to our entire basement flooded. So thankful, fortunate that it happened. Unfortunately, it's still going to suck when it comes to something like that, but we were home, we were able to get it taken care of. All right, guys, we're moving on to a lying tricep extension. I'm using 25s over here. Usually I could probably do 30s, but again, my night was really crazy, mentally exhausted, had a hard time sleeping. So 25s is what it's going to be. Going for 12 reps, and the biggest thing when it comes to tricep extensions is you want to make sure that you have a little bit of a bend in your elbow. That's just going to allow you to keep more emphasis on your tricep instead of going up and then basically having no weight whatsoever on the tricep if you didn't have that bend in your arm. Moving on to hammer curls. Again, guys, this is a superset. So we're doing standing hammer curls with 40s. And I'm only able to hit about 7 reps, I believe, on this guy. But with the superset, it would take about 90 seconds, and then we jump right back into it. So lying tricep extensions, again, 25s, and we're going for 12 reps here. And the reason why I'm doing them on the floor and not the bench is I just feel like it's easier for most people just to lay on their floor and do the tricep extensions. Plus, it's going to be a lot easier to really make sure that you go for heavier weight, because if you're on the floor, what's the worst that happens? If you can't get the exercise and you can't get that last rep up, you can just put them on the floor. If you're on a bench, you have to drop them, and I don't know what your situation is. You don't technically want to drop weights all the time, especially if you're using something like the power blocks, because if you drop the power blocks, you can actually break those bad boys. All right, guys, we're moving on to a bottoms up kettlebell press with a 26-pound kettlebell. Now, guys, if you've never done this exercise, I would go ahead and highly recommend it. It is going to be a great bang for buck when it comes to shoulder health. The reason why I say that is when you go ahead and press this bottoms up, it's going to create a lot of instability for your shoulders. And that's going to allow you guys to get a really good workout in the rotator cuff muscles along with your deltoids. Now, if you do decide to do this exercise and you've never done it before, make sure you use a lighter kettlebell, because you do have to really squeeze that handle in order to make sure it doesn't fall over on the side, and you might end up whacking yourself in the head. So to avoid the emergency room, go ahead and use a lighter kettlebell if you've never done it, and really just focus on form and reps overall compared to jumping up in weight. Now, I've been doing this for a while, so I jumped up to the 35-pound kettlebell, and I'm able to get 6 reps each arm, but you can see it's a big struggle. And the other thing with the kettlebell press is you really do have to have a tight core, so it's overall just going to be a great exercise to do in your exercise routine. So the last exercise that I'm going to be doing is going to be a yellow banded reverse fly using the crossover symmetry. Now each one of those yellow bands are going to be 10 pounds of resistance, and when it comes to the crossover symmetry, it really does give you almost the same amount of resistance the entire range of motion. So I really do like this system. Unfortunately, it's very expensive, but overall it's been great for me. Now guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, make sure you guys hit that like button. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave me a comment. And as always, if you have not already done so, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care.